featuring in Heat 1, the 9th seeds Tyrant, Exterminator 2, past champions Hefty, reigning world champions Axor, newcomers Trax, and the reigning champion Revolutionist. The fights it's had and all the wars it's had, I don't think we've ever seen it perform the way it has done. What an amazing war this has been. Revolutionist, its treble, as it stands proud above the arena. The arena is now warmed up and features some devastating and harmful hazards around, including the spike pit, the floor flipper, the burning furnace of hell, the flame pits, and, as ever, the pit of oblivion. The tournament will work like this. 3 rounds. Round 1 will consist of 2 3-way melees. The 4 winners will then meet head-to-head in the second round. But there must be a clear winner in the first round, as that will determine which fight you play in round 2. The winner of each heat goes through to our semi-finals, but there will be a redemption battle in a massive 6-way robot rumble for our runners-up of each heat. And if that wasn't enough for you, we'll also be running the Pinball Warrior tournament. So if that doesn't please you, nothing will. And patrolling in the corner patrol zones and featuring in each fight are the house robots. She may be the prettiest house robot, but don't let looks deceive you. She's got a deadly flywheel and front-mounted tusks. Shunt returns to bully and bulldoze the competitors with a devastating axe that will hurt competitors where they least expect it. The deadly dead metal returns, deadlier and meaner looking than ever. It's got a serrated saw and deadly claws. Stay away from this mean machine. And the meanest and deadliest house robot returns once again. It's Sir Kill-A-Lot. If our competitors stray too far into their corner patrol zones, the house robots will unleash hell. And it's not only the CPZs they've got to be concerned about. This series, if they hit the button, they'll activate either the Pit of Oblivion or activate the house robot will be unleashed for 10 seconds, or new for this series, Fog of War. That's right, competitors will have to guide themselves and avoid each other and the hazards through dense fog. Oh yes. And for the uninitiated, I will quickly run through the rules. Fights last for 3 minutes. If there's no clear win after that 3 minutes, it'll go to a judge's decision where they'll be marking on control, damage and aggression. However, if there is a clear winner and a robot is immobilised for longer than 30 seconds within the 3 minutes, Refbot will begin its countdown to meltdown and count the beaten machine out. It's as simple as that. Now, in each heat we will have 2 seeded machines, 1 in each first round fight. Our first seed and top seed is the reigning champion Revolutionist versus newcomers Trax and the reigning world champions Axor.
Revolutionist, spinner, seeded number 1 and reigning champion.
As with tradition, the reigning champion opens up proceedings. Revolutionist returns for an 8th go at the title. It's already won it 3 times. It has a devastating flywheel, an extra tooth this year. They've got 3 now on that disc, and the armour is hugely improved. And this was their road to glory in the last series. They obliterated all comers, defeating Cobra and Arctic in the heat final in devastating fashion before destroying the then reigning champion Challenger. Its only defeat came against Witch Doctor in the last series, but came back for revenge against Storm 2 and Thor II. This is the most famous robot in Robot Wars.
Trax invertible.
A first for Robot Wars. This is the first ever tracked robot, and I can't work out if there's a reason for that. Only time will tell. The advantages of a tracked machine, though, is that it has incredible traction. Let's see how Trax does.
Axor. Axbot.
One of the most powerful axes we've ever seen in the wars. Its track record is pretty good, even more so considering it is the reigning world champion. That axe has delivered some incredible blows over the years. Can Axor survive the first round though?
Robot team, stand by.
So here we go. I am looking forward to this. In the arena for the first fight of the series, it's Shunt.
2, 1, accident.
Watch out for the number first seeds, Revolutionist. They're on the right and they've already been flipped. Oh, but no, it was the first initial onslaught from... Oh, I'm not too sure what happened there. It was all a bit of a blur. It was Axor's axe that came slamming down and in doing so has flipped Revolutionist. This could be an almighty upset already because it has no self-righting mechanism. It was the impact of the axe of Axor, and already Revolutionist is upended. They've got 20 seconds or so to self-right. Otherwise, they'll be out. The reigning champion will be out. But at the moment, Axor is digging its axe right into the tracks. The innards there of Trax. Revolutionist has been flipped. It's been turned over by the floor flipper. Was that intentional from Axor? I don't think it was, because now Revolutionist can rev up the disc and the gyroscopic speed can stop it from being flipped. I think the issue was that the disc just wasn't up to speed. Axor took advantage. More luck than judgment, I think. Look at this little wobble. Revolutionist bouncing off the spike pit, and is it the pit of oblivion? It is. It activates. So competitors have now got to be careful of that gaping hole in the arena. Once again, those tracks look now very vulnerable. Oh, and they are. One of them's just come off. Been ripped off. Took the words right out of my mouth there. A Revolutionist on the attack of Axor. Now remember, one machine will lose and be knocked out straight away. The other two will continue to fight in the same melee. There has to be one clear winner, regardless of seedings for this series. If you win the melee here, in this fight, you will then be up against the second best performing robot in the second melee. It's as simple as that. Revolutionist, and by the looks of it, Trax here are going out. What another great attack on Axor, and I think it's done more telling damage as it comes in here with the massive slam, and there goes the Streamer Calm, a new invention for Axor as the flames now try to make a play in the arena, and another flick, and in goes Trax. What a first fight. The reigning champions just through, along with Axor. Goodness me. Well, Trax will qualify for the pinball tournament. So it's not all over yet. We may see Trax yet, depending on the performance of the robot who loses in the next melee. One of them will be here. It's the number 9 seed Tyrant, the previous champion Hefty, and Exterminator. What a fight.
Tyrant, Flipper, and seeded number 9.
Tyrant's return for a fourth go at the title. They are seeded this year. They have been a seed in the past. This has been due to the consistency of Tyrant and the power of the weapon. And it surely did wonders for them in the last war. Here was Tyrant in the 7th series. They were in a very tough heat with Storm 2. They had a great first round though against Raven, and then a hilarious second match against Pinch before losing out in the semi-finals to BattleBot in that amazing double flip.
Hefty, Flipper.
A return to form! Who knows? For Hefty, a previous winner, of course, winning the 4th series. The only reason it's not seeded is because we've not seen it for a while. It's never failed to reach a heat final, so we should see Hefty survive this first fight.
Exterminator, Axebot.
A real Robot Wars warrior, Exterminator return for a 7th go at the title. Its track record, however, is not as good, and they've also got an aerial now at the back of the robot that is susceptible to axes and spinners. Ooh, dicey.
Roboties, stand by.
How will it fare though in the second melee?
3, 2, 1. Activate.
So one to look out for: Tyrant, the Seeding Machine, and of course a past champion, Exterminator. Must be terrified. Will it be exterminated or can it survive? But another great flip. What a flip that was from Tyrant. This is what I mean by the consistency of Tyrant, ever present in the arena. Hefty righted. It has got a Shreem Egg. Look at that massive flip though against Hefty. Will it be too much flower power to survive or not? We shall soon see. It is tossed though. Tyrant up and over now. Tyrant do have the wings at the sides, an improvement they made a year ago. But look at this, and I think Exterminator here have ripped a wheel off Hefty. That is amazing to see that. The exposed wheels here of Hefty. We've never really seen Hefty suffer this sort of damage in the past. I don't know why. I think it would be quite obvious with an exposed wheel, but Exterminators just aren't letting go. And another flip from Tyrant. What a flip that was towards the arena wall there as the flames burst up. You need to be careful for this series, even deadlier than ever before, as Shunt now comes in with his axe. You're going to have to be careful. Now you see that aerial I meant on the bottom there, the back of the Exterminator is exposed. Got to be careful, that has to stay, otherwise the robot will be out. As Shunt now comes in and not helping matters at all, getting his axe stuck in there. The house robot's causing all sorts of trouble here. Oh, and it's just completely ripped off. Well, we did warn you, Exterminator. Look at this axe blow from Shunt. That's it, Exterminator are out. Even if they self-right against that wall, they won't be able to move. Looks like they'll be in the running for the pinball for this heat. And another flip here from Hefty. I can tell you something, Hefty's not performing too well. And without two wheels, well, you'd expect that. Tyrant here, look, the strongest and sturdiest as the pit of Oblivion descends, pressed in by Tyrant. What on earth can we see happen here? And who's Refbot counting out? It must be Exterminator. Exterminator are going to be counted out. They come third in the melee, which means Hefty will survive, but will probably come second. Oh, yes, it does. In the pit it goes. What a fight.
Cease.
Well, what an amazing fight. Where did it go wrong for Exterminator? Getting tangled in with Shunt. Tyrant didn't help matters at first, but the house robots, you were on that borderline. You were on that black line. Shunt did the damage. Out goes Exterminator. House robots already proving to be very deadly for this series. So, as Tyrant clearly won that fight, they will be against the second best performing robot, which was Axor. But goodness me, what a clash we have. Hefty and Revolutionist. We take a timeout now. Our judges will decide on which robot they would like to see in the pinball. They want to see more of tracks. Well, this is going to be interesting. Points can be scored by knocking the barrels. It's 5 points for each barrel knocked over. Hit the silver sphere into the pit. That will score you 30 points. The cones, they need to be knocked over. 5 points for each cone knocked over. The seesaw will score you 20 points. Hit that square object onto the flipper and over to the other side of where the cones are. That'll score you 40 points. And over onto the other side of the arena, 25 points for each brick knocked into the pit. The big target is guarded by the house robot Dead Metal. That'll score you 75 points. Not advised though. Up over to the ramp, 50 points for hitting that brick out of the arena. And the multi-ball release option, 10 points to release, 5 points for each ball into the pit, and 5 points for each of those spiky objects on the spike pit. That is the arena, and there's tracks.
Roboteers, stand by. 3, 2, 1. activate.
Good testing and driving skill is the pinball tournament. We can see now that Trax is going straight for the ramp here. Now this is really good, but those spikes at the other end of the ramp are the issue. They're going to have a bit of problems here. Well, they've technically just completed the ramp, so that's a safe 20 points for Trax. From one obstacle to the other, they've now got pinned in there. They're taking half the set with them as the ramp now comes into play. The spike not really designed to attack the arena. However, a good sturdy score there. That'll score you 50 points for attempting that. We have seen a Robot 1 shoot off over the side. But the barrels now, that's probably the best option here. The easy option. I think you're too slow to hit over those cones. Trax. The spike there, push the big block onto the flipper, that's good. Will it go onto the other side of the arena past the barrels? Yes it will, and it's activated the multi-ball release. What a good double whammy that was. A minute is up. Highlights, not many. 50 for the brick, and then the flipper hitting the multi-ball release. I don't think it did actually. I think it was a ghost. 120 points though, the judges say, and that's a decent enough score for Trax. We have 5 more robots yet to take the pinball. More next time, but wow, what a first fight for round 2 we have. We have a replay of the 4th Wars. It's Revolutionist against Hefty. Now let's just remind ourselves of that clash. It was more luck really for Hefty. They did put up an amazing fight and they did deserve to win. They did an amazing performance for the 4th Wars. Revolutionists got very unlucky. The pit descended and they ricocheted off Hefty, which meant Hefty was victorious and lifted the trophy. Revolutionist sunk. One of Revolutionists' only defeats, really.
Robot for you. Stand by.
Dead Metal returns to the arena. And the Master of Mayhem, Sir Killalot.
3, 2, 1.
What can we see happening? This has the making of a classic Clash of the Titans. The Rogue Robot. That's an early attempt there from Revolutionists trying to get this fight underway. In comes Sir Killalot. Was that a little bit of a nervous push of the dial there from our reigning champions? As we can see, Sir Killalot now can only come in for 10 seconds, but the House Robots now still attacking poor Hefty. Hefty now flipped. They can self-right. They have got the Shremek. In comes Revolutionist, spinning its disc up to speed. Can Hefty self-right? They can, but they've landed on the disc. But now they're both up and over and back on. Look at this. Sort of came in and wobbled on top of Revolutionist disc. It was great to see. It is so good to see these two warriors fighting to the death in such a way that it's caused Hefty to self-destruct. And I think there you can see on the left of your picture, the Shremek has come off, which means Hefty cannot self-right. Is this going to be sweet, sweet revenge for the #1 seeds and reigning champions Revolutionists? Yes, it is. Well, you could not have timed that any better. There was the flip. There was the bounce. Double whammy. Hefty forced itself up. In doing so, mistimed the flip. Shremek came off. Wheels came off. Out goes Hefty. Look at this. Dead Metal's just sawed off a bit there. And a bit of entanglement there. It's part of the mesh. The sort of design and the cosmetic display of Hefty has got tangled on Revolutionist. That's what it's meant to do. But it's a bit too late for that as the flipper. Goodness me, the flipper. Oh, and another devastating blow here from Revolutionist. This is complete carnage. And such an amazing encounter from two warriors of the wars at such an early stage in the tournament. It's sad to see, but Hefty are out and Revolutionist has made peace, has redeemed itself, and has put Hefty to the mercy of the House Robots. That was awesome, considering Hefty's reign, its dominance it has had in the past. This is the worst performance we've seen from Hefty, sadly, but what do you expect when you're against the #1 seed? And up goes the flames, burnt plant. Hefty, Revolutionist now just sort of wondering what's going on, but it has the Heat final now to think about as Dead Metal comes in and saws down on Hefty. Oh, disaster. Cease finally called. What a fight. That was beautiful. Revolutionist through to its 8th Heat final. Can't believe I'm saying that. Next, Tyrant, the 9 seeds against Axor.
Robot ears, stand by. 3, 2, 1. Activate.
It's worth pointing out that these two robots have been fighting for quite some time in the wars. Axor, of course, remains the reigning world champion all those years ago, conquered the entire planet and came out on top. Tyrant have been very unlucky in the past to come up against such good robots in each of the Heat finals. Tyrant has got to. Axor now coming in with that. It's just more of an irritant. The axe of Axor and another flip. Axor, of course, coming back with those 2 amazing self-righting prongs. They've obviously learned from past mistakes as they were immobilised and were knocked out in the 5th wars by Axor. So there's a bit of a grudge match going on here. At the moment, though, Axor seems to be winning here. It looks like these round 2 fights are all about redemption, because at the moment, Axor here have the upper hand. They're going to balance themselves, and they can't quite tip Tyrant out the arena. Look at this. The axe has got dug in so far in that Axor here now cannot do anything. The wheels are just not on the ground, and Tyrant certainly can't do anything. Refbot, what on earth is going to happen here? Refbot's coming in to sort of free them, but in doing so, I don't think that's allowed. I don't think that's allowed. Refbot should have just counted it out to a judge's decision, and I'm being told that the fight is going to be marked up to the point Refbot intervened. So, let's have a look at the fight up to that point. Tyrant missed a couple of key flips at the beginning. Very low ground clearance on Axor, which has helped, obviously. We can see the axe here, now the aggression, I think, here. Definitely Axor. And the control as well. It's just really now between who was on top. See, that was the only time Tyrant did attack. But look at this. We had some axe attacks digging right into the innards and using the hazards, pushing in towards to kill a lot. For me, on the basis of what we've seen here, Axor will get the decision because, let's face it, they would have won anyway had the axe not have got stuck right into Tyrant's innards. So for me, it's Axor, but what do I know? I'm just a commentator. It's up to the judges to find out who the winner is. Each judge's decision will be projected onto our screen here. The winner is Axor, making it through to another Heat final. Well, that's a bit of surprise. Out go the 9 seeds. That is a bit of a shock for me. However, it'll be Revolutionist versus Axor in tonight's main event, which is the Heat final. And boy, what a task for Axor. We've got the reigning champion versus the reigning world champion.
Revolutionist, spinner, seeded number 1 and reigning champion.
A spectacle to behold. An absolute privilege and joy to watch this amazing 3-time champion perform. It got off to a pretty shaky start though. They were 5 seconds off from being counted out. That's how close the champions were to being knocked out. Having said that, they got back onto their feet, and since then it's been utter devastation. They even ripped off Axor's self-righting arm in the opening fight. Then, Clash of the Titans. 2 champions, but only one could survive, and that was Revolutionist. It's sad to see Hefty being destroyed like that, but you come into an arena with a champion like this, what do you expect? Sir Kilowatt was very kindly putting it out of its misery. What can you say about this world-famous machine? Only once on 7 previous attempts has it failed to reach the grand final. This is just unheard of. It's never happened before. It'll probably never happen again.
Axor, Axbot.
But in the other half is Axor, the reigning world champions. They put up a good fight. They were actually the robots to flip Revolutionist and cause initial damage to Trax. So Axor started the competition very strongly. This was probably their only obstacle, their only regret really, by flipping Revolutionist back over. They then found redemption against Tyrant in another grudge match. A lucky blow into the innards of the seeded machine Tyrant led Axor through to its second heat final. We haven't really seen Axor use its self-righting arms as of yet, which is a good thing. Axor, well respected, such a good, compact, sturdy robot. This will be close, I think.
Robot team, stand by.
For our final, it's the pushover, not really, of Shunt. And for the first time tonight, it's the matriarch of mayhem, Matilda.
3, 2, 1. Active.
Remember, the winner goes straight through to the semi-finals. The loser goes through to the 6 Robot Rumble Redemption Battle, which will take place in the semi-final stage. But at the moment, Revolutionist revving its disc up against Axor, and one of the side arms has come off Axor, and the flip! This time, the gyroscopic speed balancing out Revolutionist. This is why they don't need a stream egg, they keep telling us. And with instances like this, we can see why. Look at that wobble. Doesn't matter, but in doing so, the disc has actually hit over Axor and has balanced Axor on the wrong side. Was this luck? Was this skill? It doesn't matter. The fog of war, though, comes into play. The first time ever. Look at this. It's blinding the competitors. What can Revolutionists do here now as they come in? Oh, it's fantastic to see. Look at that haze, the mist, as Revolutionist revs its disc up. As we can see now, what a shame this is. This was just a series of unfortunate events, circumstances. Revolutionists here well on the way to getting through to another semi-finals. It really was. Revolutionists got the attack in on the arm of Axor. The wobble on the flipper then just happened to ricochet off the top of Axor's weapon, hence it falling over onto the wrong side. And because of this, they cannot self-right. What a shame here. Refbot coming in to sort out. Oh, and what a performance it was. More luck than judgment. It doesn't matter. It's got Revolutionists through. Axor, although out for its heat final here, we will be seeing back a bit later on in the series. But for now, it's up to Shunt and Matilda coming in for the kill on towards the pit of oblivion. That is Matilda getting her tusks in. Goodness me, this looks one-way ticket here. Axor now. It is the pits descending, but no, we want more. Descend, ascend, should I say? Ascend the pit. Shunt. I'm hearing we need more punishment. We need more carnage. We need another arena hazard to take control and torment poor Axor. He doesn't deserve this. Now, X marks the spot, which means only one thing. Any second now. That's right. A cooker. The drop zone returns.
C.
What a way to finish the heat final. One year ahead, poor Axor. Look at this. It'll have a headache now. On. Not doing too much damage, but it was great to see. And just to confirm, Axor will fill our first place on the 6 Robot Rumble Redemption Battle. But for now, we can bask in the glory. Once more, Revolutionist spins its way into another semi-final.